Hey guys, I'm Joe, and this is the Rebels Advocate, and this is a very impromptu video. Just kind of thought I'd sit down and talk to you guys, which is usually how all my videos go. Recently just had another death in the family, which was unfortunate and sad, which we kind of knew was coming. My mama passed away, but it just seems like we've had way too much of it lately. I know I'm not special. It happens to everybody. It's just part of life. The older you get, the more people you lose, but at some point it's like, you just kind of like, hold on. I think I've lost enough people for the next decade or so. Maybe cut me some slack, but that's not how life works. But anyway, with all that on my mind, there was something I kind of want to talk about. Before I used to do some videos titled "If I Were God." And in those videos, I would pick out stories in the Bible, and ways in which God, how God handled certain situations. And then I would say, what if I were God? Could I do it better? The kind of lighthearted, funny videos, I guess. Just poking fun of the fact that me, a complete hillbilly idiot, could handle a situation better than what God did. That was kind of the point. Just pointing out that maybe this, all-powerful, all-knowing being isn't as all-powerful and all-knowing and smart as we may make him out to be. So today, I'm kind of doing the same thing, but a little different. I'm going to do it if I were God, but instead of basing it off of a Bible story, something I read out of the Bible, I'm going to base it off of every time I do a video. Every time the dogs are just like, well, now's the time to bark our heads off. Every time. One of them's mine, the rest is neighbors. Anyway, instead of basing it off a story in the Bible, I'm going to kind of base it off of anecdotal stories. Anecdotal? Did I even say that right? See, sometimes a hillbilly tries to say big words that don't work out. But anyway, off of personal stories of other people about their relationship with God. And you may say, well, Joe, anecdotal stories aren't exactly reliable stories, to base God off of. To which I would reply, yeah, sure, but neither is the Bible, so who cares? But there's a lot of talk about God being your personal friend. I have a buddy. One thing that drives me crazy is these people are like, I'm not religious, I have a personal relationship with Jesus. And it's like, well, you believe, if you believe, so I have a friend who used to argue this all the time. Well, I'm not religious. I have a personal relationship with God. And they're like, so you don't believe in any supernatural beings? Well, yeah, well, you're religious. I'm sorry. By definition, you're religious. Okay? You believe in things that we can't even see. It makes you religious. I'm sorry. And then, he told me how him and God had this just amazing personal relationship. And he even told me how he talked to God the same way that he talked to me. He just had a conversation, just like he did, sitting down talking to me, sitting across from me at a table, just having a back and forth. That's how I talked to God. And then I would ask him questions, maybe some pretty tough questions, like pertaining to the problem of evil, and like, why does God allow this, and why does this happen? And then he would explain to me, I don't have all the answers. Some of these are really, I have a tough time with too. I don't understand, but I know that, sooner or later we'll know. And I'm like, hey, ask him. If you don't understand, ask him. You have a personal relationship with him. If you literally talk to God the way you talk to me, the way we're having a conversation right now, go ask him. I'm sitting here. I'll wait. I'll wait for the answer. Needless to say, he didn't get the answer, neither did I, because guess what? His relationship with God wasn't like his relationship with me. See, his relationship with me was real. his relationship with God was based on what was going on in his head. But anyway, that's getting off the topic. I want to talk about the relationship you have with God. And let's just presuppose that God is real. Could I have a better, if I were God, could I have a better relationship with you? And seeing as how death has kind of loomed around me here lately, I was listening to some people talk who are believers, and I don't always like sharing stories that have to do with, you know, personal matters and family, but I think that's relevant, and I think it needs to be talked about, because I don't think this is something that's just has only happened to me. But I was listening to a couple family members talk, and they were talking about how on several different occasions, not just one occasion, but different occasions where the relative come down to the end of their life, and they didn't have an easy journey out. Their death was not quick. It was a very painful and long process. And these people, these two people in particular they were talking about, were Christians, lifelong Christians, and by Christian standards, the best Christians you could possibly imagine. These were the most loving, caring people, and I knew both of them personally, and I can vouch for it. The most loving, caring people you could ever meet. Now, I might credit that just to them being good people, period. Whereas Christians may say that's just how close they were with God. That's what kind of relationship they had with God. That they were, you know, so close to Jesus, it made them the most loving, compassionate people. And they really were. If you knew them, you would know these people were just wonderful people, loving people. Never had a bad word to say about anybody. Lived their life that way, their entire life that way. And I can vouch for that, being around both of these people. And then when it came their time to go, it was so hard and it was so rough that they reached a point where both of these people asked the question, what did I do wrong? Is it something I did? Why am I suffering so? You know, have I done something wrong and God is punishing me? And that's, I don't know how Christians, and I don't know how they even, I was listening to them talk about this, and I didn't interject in the story. It wasn't the time, it wasn't the place, but I'm listening to them talk about this, and it just makes me wonder how, you know, how do you settle this in your mind? How are you okay with this? That this is your God. And these people who had a personal relationship with Him all these years, and it comes down time for them to go, and now they're having these questions. What did I do wrong? Why am I being punished? Is the person that's supposed to be the best friend, your best friend ever, you know, the person that you put above family, country, the whole, you know, number one, you're questioning whether he is literally torturing you for something that you did wrong that you don't even know. I don't think there's another relationship that we can think of that would be considered a great relationship where someone would ever have that question. Where someone would ever, like, you know, the closest friends, you know, I would never suspect them of doing something like that to me. It's just beyond reason. It's beyond, like, I wouldn't even, you know, suspect that they were guilty of that. So if I were God, how would I handle it? If I were God, I would have a little better relationship with my children, my so-called children, my creation. If I were God, I wouldn't be such a dick, to be honest. If I were God, you know, there would be no suffering. like that. I wouldn't put you through that in your end days. And a lot of people, they try to make these excuses, and sometimes the only thing they can come up with is, well, this is a test. You know, anytime there's a hardship in life, well, sometimes God tests you to make you a better person. But when it's your last days, when it's literally your last months, your last weeks, your last days, your last hours on this earth, what is God testing you for? What is He trying to prepare you for? If you're getting ready to go to heaven, the only explanation that you can get is literally, well, God knows that you're ready to go to heaven, and He's trying to torture you to see if you'll still love Him. In other words, in the last minutes, He's trying to see if He can get you to recant your love for Him so that you'll end up in hell. Really? You've served Him your entire life, and when it comes time for you to go, He's like, give me one more chance to see if I can make her turn her back on me, or turn his back on me so they can go to hell. That is your best friend? That is your close personal relationship? You know, I don't understand it. I don't understand how you can be okay with that, how you can make any kind of argument around that. It baffles me. If I were God, I would be a little, like, first of all, we'd never be in that situation. I've talked about it before. I would just created you in paradise. You know, if I was the one running the show. But if you made it to, if I were God in the situation as the world is as we know it, when it come your time, if you served me so faithfully your entire life, I think I could ease your crossing. I could make the last days of your life a little more pleasant, and welcome you into heaven just a little easier. Make it easier on you, make it easier on your family. Unfortunately, that's not the way it is. And maybe for you, you don't understand because, you know, how can God be that way? You're trying to make excuses. For me, I understand it. I understand it because there is no God there. There is no friend. There is no personal relationship. It's all right here. And life is what it is. It's just, there's no fairness. And it's not a seductive story. It's not a very sexy story to tell. Atheism doesn't paint a pretty picture. You know, and that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to find the truth, to know the truth. And sometimes the truth isn't pretty. It's not. It's not the cutest story. It doesn't have a happy ending. I wish it did, but all I can do is keep searching for answers and live this life the best I know it. But even if atheism doesn't provide me with, you know, a fluffy, happy ending, it doesn't mean I can just throw in any fairy tale that makes me happy. Because at the end of the day, you know, that person, that religion that you say is your comforter, it ends up just tormenting you. You say it's a comfort to you in time of need, yet you lie on your deathbed questioning, why, what have I done? Why is God torturing me? At least when I lay on my deathbed, if I suffer, I'll know why. I'll know that there's no rhyme or reason. This is life. This is my physical body. This is what happens. There's no person that I loved and served my entire life betraying me and punishing me in my last days. This is just life. This is just how it is. And to me, that's more comforting. It may not be pretty, but it's better than thinking the one you love the most is betraying you. Is it not? That's really all I had to say today. I just had that on my mind. And I know, like, atheism is not, like, it doesn't have a lot of good selling points. But all I'm trying to show you is sometimes religion doesn't really either. Because all those beautiful promises, they're empty promises. And when it comes time to collect, they're just not there. There's nothing really there for you in religion. religion is a beautiful story. It has all these things of promises, but you never obtain those promises. They're always just beyond your reach. So don't fall in that trap. Don't let it rule your life and then torment your mind the way I've seen religion torment so many people's minds, especially when it comes down to your last days. I'd rather be going out not knowing what's going to happen. Maybe it's it. Maybe when I close my eyes for the last time, that's it. Or maybe there's something I don't know about. Who knows? I'll just be along for the ride. I'd rather be there than to be tormented thinking this person, this being that I bowed down to and served my entire life is now punishing me. And if he's punishing me now, why would he usher me into paradise later? It doesn't make sense. So I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to go back in the house. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'd like to thank my brand new patron, SCN. I don't know what that stands for. Sports Center Network. SCN. I don't know. It's probably something Illuminati related. But anyway, SCN, who not only become a patron, but join the Rebel tiers and is a $10 and above patron. Thanks so much. I'd like to thank my other patron in the $10 and above club, Brandon Shaw, and all my patrons. Thanks so much. And if you'd like to become a patron, you can do so at patreon.com/TheRebelsAdvocate. Thanks so much, guys, and until next time, I'll see you later.